Oh, yeah.
See if anybody noticed.
Just do one that you've already done.
Old Memory County Fair was this shot of Drew in the water vault. Do you remember this?
I'll be back.
Right.
just a
See you in
minute.
20 minutes.
What?
See you in 20 minutes.
No.
Number 2?
Wait, what is happening today? Drew.
No, I'm gonna just
True.
go to my desk and sit.
Talk about. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunrise Extra. You get caught off guard. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sunrise Extra. Happy Wednesday. How are you guys feeling today? Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
Pretty
We're
good.
halfway through the week, right?
Well, more than halfway if you're off Friday.
Good for you. Memorial Day weekend. You got a 4-day weekend.
4-day, yes.
That's
I tried
pretty
to make
nice.
it 5. They're like, that's pushing it.
I ain't
Yeah.
mad at you.
You're moving. You need to be home and like
But you know,
help
I
out
did
your
this-
poor wife.
I did this pretty smartly. We're pretty much done the move now. So I'm
Yeah.
going to take off
You're
Friday.
unpacked and everything?
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing it for
Unboxed.
about 2 weeks.
2 years. It
Felt
feels like
2 years,
2
yes.
years.
Yes, I moved to Kansas, by the way, if you're wondering. Yes.
Oh, that
Long
is
commute
just,
now.
I hate moving. That's the worst. So one of our stories, every day when we decide kind of what we're going to talk about on Sunrise Extra, we try and go through some of the stories, you know, what are the hot talkers? Some of them are politics. We don't want to weigh in on that stuff. And some of them are fun. This one is a little out there and weird. So you may have heard in Washington, Governor Jay Inslee just signed a new bill into law that lets you, if you want, compost human remains of yourself, loved ones, whatever. Because they say it's very environmentally friendly because cremation puts a bunch of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, other pollutants. When you get buried, of course, you're in a coffin that's not going to, you know,
Break
degrade
up.
into the earth. You're taking up land. Formaldehyde that they pump into your body goes into the groundwater.
So this is the cleanest way to get rid of yourself.
Yeah.
Or
No,
your family to get rid of you.
Yeah, my ears perked up when she described the story earlier when she basically, who's she? She's Nina. When Nina was saying, basically, you're turning yourself into, or you compared the human body
Kind of
to
like
food
how
scraps.
food scraps.
But
I
this
have a
is-
compost bin on my kitchen counter.
Yes.
Where I put the
But that's not where
stuff
you
in.
go. But
No,
you send it
but
off.
it's not far off.
You send it off, and you come back as like 2 wheelbarrows
Barrels full of soil.
And then your family can plant you or do what you scatter you. I
Yes,
think it's
scatter the
brilliant.
soil.
We cannot
I'm
take up
for it,
any
too.
more land. And you know what? I mean, why not?
Can we add to the conversation? Because I think this works best when the viewers are chiming in on the topic at
Absolutely.
hand. So number one, would you be up for this? Would you, I think during the Sunrise Show, 2/3 of our audience said, yes, I would, I'd be up for having myself composted. And 67% still, we're looking at the numbers right now.
Oh, here's the numbers.
67% say, yes, you would have your remains composted.
It makes
Can we
sense.
add to this though? Once you become compost, what fruits or vegetables would you like to see grown with your soil?
I would like a pretty flower garden.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
flower garden.
I've come full circle on this though, because it used to freak me out. I'm like, no, I don't even think I want to be in the ground. I want to be in one of those vaults. And then I was like, no, I'll just be in the ground. And then I was like, God, never cremation, because that freaked me out. You know, when I was
Really?
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've come full circle. It makes
Full
sense.
circle of life.
Just- that's right. Do you want to sing a little Lion King or something?
Circle of life.
Okay, so let's
Did
read
I
a
walk
couple. You guys are kind of weighing in on this. I asked this question on Facebook this morning. So Jamie says, of the 3 options, this seems like the best option. I would just want to picture it happening in the dirt under a tree with a nice view. Yeah, that sounds good. I don't think that's how it's happening. We'll talk about that in a second. Kelly says, I'm not opposed to people doing this, but the thought creeps me out. I still want to be cremated. Mary replying to her, I'm with you on that. I can't conceive of turning anyone I love into a compost pile and then using the soil to plant whatever. But Nick's saying you're probably not going to care what happens if you're dead.
Absolutely.
So this is how it works. So you can't just leave a body out on the ground to decompose. So there's going to be licensed facilities that are going to take care of this. There's actually like a huge vessel like you have in your garden if you do composting that you turn. So they put in wood chips, they put in straw, not food scraps, and it takes only a couple of weeks for your body to decompose. They turn it, and it turns into soil. Real soil, and if the family members want, they can get all of that or a little bit of soil to scatter like you would ashes. So anyway, so it's going to go into effect next May in Washington.
We had a hard time, I will tell you, in the studio pulling up the signal to
live
look at this
stream.
live stream.
Yeah,
but I
I'm
just
trying to pull
finally
it up.
was able to pull mine up.
There we
now I can
go.
actually see some of the viewers' comments on this. Ginny Carlson saying, to each their own, no for her. Ginny says no.
fair enough.
Doris Maxwell Leaf. Why do I bother saying the last name?
Just
if I
say
can't
Doris.
the last
Hi,
name? I know,
Doris.
I
She's
should,
watching
but
right now.
I went
Hi,
down
Doris.
the road and I started saying it and I couldn't.
Sorry for Drew's
Doris
mispronouncing.
Maxwell Leakfet.
Just say Doris. Drew. She says no
I get
for
it
me.
now, Nina. Thank you. Say the first
Sorry,
name only.
Doris.
Crystal says not right. She says it's not right. She goes beyond the no to say it's not right.
Why, Crystal? Let us
Yeah,
know.
what
Type
should
in a
we
comment.
do?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Pamela says bloom where you are planted.
I used to have that a little magnet that said that. There was like an Ann
Now it
Geddes
has a
little
new
thing,
meaning.
you know? Yeah, bloom where you're planted.
And then
funny.
Maria, she hasn't played with words here. She says, I'm getting cream, C-R-E-A-M, mated, M-A-D-E-D. I'm getting cream, mated. You're a funny one, Maria S. Woods. Thank you for chiming in.
And Shelly jumping in here. Hi, Shelly. I wouldn't want my remains wasted like that.
Well, wait a minute. They
What
are.
else are you doing
That's
with
what
them?
remains are. Is
I think
just
that was
waste,
a joke. I think
right?
she was.
It is
yeah,
true.
I think she was trying to be funny too. I wouldn't want my remains wasted.
I didn't realize
like
this
that.
would be such a controversial topic.
Right?
You're all
First brought it
comedians.
up this
Yeah.
morning. I mean, back in the newsroom when we have our kind of editorial meetings, everybody just jumped on it. So it doesn't surprise me that
Right.
people
It's
have
a
strong
talker.
opinions.
My
Mostly
question-
because we wanted to know how the heck it's going to work.
Yeah, like what you're gonna do with them, because I could be totally wrong, but aren't there a bunch of laws that you can't just take ashes, like in different states, you can't just go like scatter ashes in places? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I don't know if it's a state thing or how that
I
works.
don't know.
No, you can scatter ashes. You can't scatter Ashleys. Well, thank you for the
It landed
laughter.
flat, Drew. It landed flat.
That didn't work. So my
I think
question
you're right.
was like,
Not with
can
this
you
So
just-
obviously Washington, maybe not one of those.
Yeah, I don't know,
states,
but that's what
know.
I was curious about. Like, can you just take the soil and spread it anywhere? You know, because it's
It's
like
dirt at that point, I
guess at that
guess,
point, if
yeah.
it's soil, then it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because,
there's
well,
random
and I
laws.
wonder if that law is because, you know, when you're cremated, I mean, if you have fillings and all kinds of different stuff, if you're throwing that into the ground, that is considered, I mean, that's the reason that they're making this law,
I'm
is
Googling
because
this
of the
now.
chemicals and
Right.
additives and stuff.
When I got out of the
hi,
bed
everyone on
this morning, I
Instagram.
never knew that I was
That you were going to be talking about this.
I didn't. I had
Right.
no idea.
Good morning, everyone on Instagram.
You may remember Ginny earlier saying she was not up for this idea. She gives further explanation
yeah, okay.
as to why she does not like this idea for herself. She says, my grandmother, Ginny's grandmother, made a thing of visiting cemeteries where family members were buried, and she would tell family history when visiting those grave sites. Ginny's saying, plant a tree in memory of someone, but value human life more than old carrots. She's basically saying she doesn't want to treat the human body like
see what she's
like food
saying,
scraps.
yeah.
Going back to that idea.
I think you can, I mean, this is just my opinion on,
Oh, tell
you
us,
know.
Nina. Tell us.
I'm listening.
I think you can share, I mean, you can certainly share family stories.
Yes.
You know, in your own
Absolutely.
home or going to a place where that person, you know, loved to
Yeah.
be, or cooking a meal that that person loved and talking
And if you
about them
plant
over
a
the dinner
tree
table.
with that soil, I think that's
It's cool.
symbolic and
it's
neat.
just
I
an
don't know.
option.
Maybe
it's
I'm
just
weird,
an
but
option. Yeah, you don't
absolutely.
have to do it in Washington. But yeah, 67% of you say you'd be down for it.
But at
Who
some
knows?
point, we are going to run out of room, right?
Well, yeah,
Just
you put those
literally, it's a
caskets in
logistical
the
and very
ground.
practical problem.
We're not digging down far enough, Brenda.
Why?
Why are we going 6 feet down? Why not go 12
Touche.
feet down? We can get more bodies in there.
Look at Ashley's
Through the
face.
Undertaker.
Did you just hear what Rod said?
I
I'm going to
tuned him
ignore
out.
that.
Okay.
Give it to me again. I'd like
You
to hear
said
it.
we're running out of room, and he goes, "Our master closet's
Oh,
there
it's
already."
there.
Comparing
Yeah,
his
it's-
closet
it's
to.
there. No, I mean, I'm for the choice. I think it's great that people are thinking.
You said
and-
you'd still want to be
I mean,
cremated. huh?
it's not for me, but I think it's a great choice.
come?
You want to be
for people.
cremated, and then, but what's the difference
Well, I
to
think
you?
honestly, the way I look at it is burials just become way too expensive. The old I mean, I grew up the same deal.
Guy still worried
Most
about
of-
money even when he's not
There's
here.
a cemetery in Iowa.
So Rod Hill.
There's a cemetery in Iowa where we go to. My folks are going to be up there traveling to Iowa over this upcoming Memorial Day weekend to decorate the graves. There's generations of family there. But we're running out of room, as Brenda said.
No,
You know, that's
but-
not something that can continue.
I'm just wondering what you
But
see
the embalming
difference
process,
of, yeah,
all that's
cremation
becoming too
versus-
expensive. So I assume I'm going to be cremated. And also, our family's now split up. It's not like somebody's going to be traveling to see my gravesite someday, because it's not like the old days where generations of families lived in the same county forever.
Sure.
So I would pick cremation simply because of that. And I'll be selfish. Yeah, I don't like the idea of my body sitting there being leaves thrown on it and all that. I'd rather be torched.
What do you want to happen?
But then what's so much more
do you want the
respectful?
Where do you want the ashes to go? How's that any different? You want it to stay in an urn? Is that what you want to happen?
Not with the ashes spread over
what's the
Game
difference?
7 of the World Series at Busch
that
Stadium
any
in St.
different?
Louis, of course.
Then how's that any different than
That's
what?
what I'm saying. How's it different than the soil being
Spreading
spread? It's
ashes
not.
or spreading
not.
It's
soil?
all the same.
It's just
different.
us
not.
sitting here alive
It's
going,
the
"Ooh,
final
that sounds
pitch.
terrible."
Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the World Series.
It's
Suddenly,
ceremonial.
Rod's ashes come down
It's
over the
ceremonial.
Oh,
playing field.
okay.
You know, how do we?
Self-importance.
Are we gonna
That's
start?
what, you know.
Are we gonna start slipping into the Matrix or like Soylent Green? We're gonna start feeding this then to like you get all.
Okay, you guys are weighing in on
Everybody was gonna
Facebook.
go
Let's
there.
read a couple more comments because we're getting. Jennifer says, we and our pets will be spread together. Our poor niece, we
that.
have 5 of our labs that died of disease or age, and the 2 of us. It will take a bit. Let's see.
Can I read
ceremonial?
Natalia says, if you can be
Celebratory.
cremated and put into a tree capsule, this is no different. Both my parents were cremated, and I visit the places we put their ashes.
Yeah.
Can I read Joseph's comment?
Yeah,
Joseph
please.
Williams?
No,
Please?
no.
Go ahead.
That lady with the selfie stick is gorgeous.
I skipped over that one. Sorry.
She's going to be compost one day.
And then Dan
But that'll be some beautiful dirt.
Happily.
Dan Gladden on Facebook has a interesting take. He says one viable option is taxidermy.
I also skipped that comment, Drew.
I give one. They're all out there.
Some people do that.
I mean,
They set themselves up in
yeah.
scenes.
Who
of
needs
their
a wax
favorite things.
museum when
not
you can
seen
have
that?
Drew Carney taxidermied up there on the wall?
Yes.
Funny.
What?
Taxidermy for a human being.
Isn't that?
He takes it further, though. He says stuff grandma and make her into a lovely coat.
Yeah, I also
Well,
skipped
we
that
have
part.
we have Body Worlds.
These are Mike. I'm sharing the viewers' comments. I'm not here to filter anybody.
You guys have seen the Body
We
Worlds
share.
exhibit,
Actually,
right?
we share.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your taxidermy.
actually do
done
that,
for
huh?
scientific purposes.
Oh,
Research.
just curious. I'm not saying we have to move on, but do we have anything else to talk about?
We were going to talk about
Let's talk about
Rod on the
anything
job. Rod on the job. Keep
Rod on the
sending
job.
us your
It's not
comments.
time. I'm just curious.
Rod on the job.
Yeah.
You were cleaning TriMet
Yeah.
buses.
So the way the
700
story
buses.
came, so full disclosure, so TriMet recently has added 2 completely electric buses. And they're very proud of this program, which will keep adding electric buses over the years with a goal, and maybe not completely electric, but the goal is by the year 2040 to have 0 diesel emissions in the fleet, which is awesome. So from that idea, how do we get Rod out there? We came up with a Rod on the job, which we've done in the past. And I had fun with Stephen getting a sample of what it's like to be one of the workers where their job is to wash the buses. Now, I don't know why it surprised me, but I'm thinking they have over 700 buses. It never dawned on to me they would clean every single bus every single day, but they do. They have, what, 3 or 4 yards that hold the buses. I was at Merlot Yard. And, you know, if they need a complete detail, there's graffiti issues, all these things that they get their crews clean up every single day. It's a daunting task. Stephen, who hosted me that day, said on his typical day, he'll clean 200 buses on his ship. So they're flying through
So
this.
some stats for you, by the way. Those buses, what they call a standing load, can hold 70 people at a time.
That's crazy.
So you put 70 people on
imagine
a
all the
bus
trash
that's driving
and-
around town. It needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Multiplied by several hundred. So
Yeah.
they got a lot of work to do
And
daily.
I mean, things happen. People can get sick on that type of thing. But what was really disappointing was it sounded like there are numerous buses every day that just come in with graffiti and some
That's
sort of
shameful.
vandalism. Their crews have to deal with that. And I know I'm not speaking to anybody that would ever do that. But that is disappointing that there
Yeah,
are people
that's-
out there that do that. You know.
You said 200 in that one bus yard alone. Rod Hill, I completely forget. I didn't see that comment coming. I completely forget what the heck I was going to say.
Well, on one 8-hour shift, they'll clean 200 buses. But what was also cool was
One guy?
on one shift. I
That's
mean, multiple
efficiency.
people are working the crew, but yeah, that's efficiency. But there was a sense. I met maybe 6 different TriMet workers that day, and there was a sense of pride from these workers and the service that they provide. I mean, they are working in a job field where they are basically That's where I'm trying. What they do impacts a lot of people is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people
Yeah.
rely on these buses. Chris mentioned how many will fill
They do
up
a
one.
great
And your
public service.
experience
And they
riding
do.
them,
You
you
know,
know?
they
I
take
mean,
great pride
if
in
they're
it.
filthy and you
Yeah.
see that a couple times, you're not going to want to
Yep.
ride again. So, I mean, it's in their incentive.
Can I dovetail onto that
Yeah.
too? We've
Please.
got another TriMet piece coming up in a couple weeks about it's Drive Me Crazy featured about what the TriMet bus drivers deal with on a daily basis. But
I can't imagine.
One of the really nice comments that we will work into our piece is one of the bus drivers called the folks that ride TriMet buses environmental heroes. He thought that everyone that rides
Instead of
public
driving a
transit
car.
instead of driving a car, he says those people are environmental heroes. So I thought that was just kind of a nice
cool.
piece to add
Yeah.
to taking pride in your work and taking pride in the service that you provide all of
Well,
us.
and the reality is, as we go down the line in the decades to come, more and more of us are going to be riding those buses as our city continues
'Cause there's
to
no
grow. I mean,
parking.
their fleet right now is around 700. Their fleet in 10 years, Chris, is going to be over 1,100. Wow. So it's going to be close to doubling that fleet over the next, decade plus. Yeah.
What job would you like to do in the future? I know we only do these every once in a while.
Or what job would our viewers, because they're not really
Yeah.
jumping in on this
Yes.
conversation, so here's your opportunity.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
job would you like to see Rod do in a future Sunrise segment? We'd like to put him on very odd jobs. Please
Very odd
share some
jobs.
odd
Very
jobs for
messy,
Rod.
gross
Well,
jobs.
I will share this.
too.
I enjoy customer service jobs. I mean, being a TriMet bus driver is a customer service job where you're dealing with the public, and no matter what your task is, if you're working, in the food service, but you're hoping to make a portion of somebody's day nice, right?
Aw.
This is customer service. Hello, customers.
Sweet.
What can we do to help you out this morning?
I wanted to take it and say, you went all sweet there. I wanted to say, I want to see Rod work really hard.
Me
really
too,
hard.
because they gave you a relatively clean
Really hard
bus.
to be
Took it
the
easy on you.
guy that picks up the honey buckets. That'd be a tough job.
Greenskeeper.
Oh, that's a rough
Greenskeeper for a
one.
day.
Any,
Only he has
oh,
to
you
actually
love
get out and
that.
actually get out and do the work.
That's a good one.
Any work restrictions, things that you just physically are not able to do or maybe
I will say, as I've-
logically can't do?
As I've gotten older, I don't really care for heights. So, what makes the window cleaning job makes for great
was the
TV if
first
you're
thing that
up
came
on
to
the
mind.
big buildings in
Right.
downtown. But honestly, as I've gotten older, I don't really care for heights. But that would be the only thing.
Okay.
But that would be a good one.
Oh, it
to
would
get,
be,
Face
yeah.
your
To
fear.
get you over.
Yeah, I
and
think
get 'em
so.
up
Well, I
there.
would need one of those Coast Guard choppers with a safety harness going to it.
We can
Maybe
arrange
50 landlines hooked from other buildings onto me.
There's
Every
not
once in a
one. There's
while.
not one thing you really want to do that you're just pining to.
That is
specific job?
I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of jobs.
So what, you went to fire training camp,
Went
you've
to
done
fire
the TriMet
training.
buses.
We revisited my old job at McDonald's. I had a lot
Oh,
of fun
right.
that day.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot of fun.
You did the FBI deal.
Trained as an FBI agent. We were trying to set up a deal where I was going to revisit my old job of being a flight attendant.
Oh.
And I was basically
Is that gonna
on
be a little difficult?
Sun Country Airlines. I think that's the name of it. I was going to fly to Vegas and back for the day.
Really?
But then logistically, now you're committing a lot of time for our photographer, and it didn't really work
Will
out.
the FAA let you on board still?
But
Did you leave under strange circumstances?
Don't answer
actually,
that question.
we probably have to follow up on that, Brenda, to make sure.
Oh, Rob is chiming in
There's
on
no
Facebook.
way.
He said it would be cool for you to wear one of those suits and train with like a police canine.
Oh,
yeah,
we
that
talked
would be
about
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could probably hook that up.
That
right?
would be fun.
I haven't done the police. Not to speak, lowly of our police officers, but I did. But I did go through FBI training already.
I'm thinking,
FBI.
Is that kind of a suits job though,
Oh, boy,
versus like an
yeah.
on the ground, boots on the
No,
ground
he's afraid to
situation?
put on the bite
right.
suit is what he's
I
afraid
would
to
be.
do.
I wouldn't want to do
Heck
it.
yeah.
I think it's a two-part series. It's the dog bite suit day 1, and it's the tasing segment day 2.
Yeah.
And first
Somebody
of all,
does want to see
Yes.
you clean those honey buckets
I have
in
done
August.
both of
though.
those things, been tased and been in a bite suit. So if you're
Oh.
saying you're not able to do it,
I'm just saying I've been trained by the FBI. That's all I'm saying.
We buried the lead here. I didn't know that you had been tased.
you don't. There's video. That's
Of
I have
like
been tased.
literally
This is
when
your
you were
last
a
station?
reporter.
I was a reporter. I was not tased in a police confrontation. Let me clarify.
That's what I figured.
Also tased as a reporter.
Yes.
So how bad does it
Citizens
hurt?
Academy.
Wow.
There's a video of me yelling, I think a profanity, some sort of word.
Do you
but
seize up? I mean,
seized
like,
up
what
as I'm-
happens?
and they're holding your arms. Do they bring,
Yes.
they bring you down?
Yep.
And I'm just yelling. I'm not going to repeat, but I also yelled stop as I was like going all
The word
way
wasn't
down.
completed, right?
Wasn't not
That's
completed
same with
because your
mine.
body
I'll tell you,
stops.
I did this. That
Yeah.
was the word that was
That's the
starting to
one.
form. That's all I got out.
So it's done pretty good.
It does not. I got prongs like shoulder and
Yes.
and butt cheek,
Yeah,
basically.
really?
It's a widespread.
I'm
my
curious,
gosh.
so once you're tased, I mean, like 10 minutes after the fact, you feel totally fine, or is there a
No, you
lingering
feel your muscles feel
impact?
real,
It lingers?
feel sore, and you have prong.
No, I have not.
Did you
done
get
it.
dry
on you?
stunt,
But you-
or did you get the prongs?
I don't know, the gun that shoots the two things
The
out.
prongs.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go into your skin, so you have a little hole in your skin.
Yeah,
But
there was actually a little, like I was wearing a white, I took off my shirt, I had a white t-shirt underneath, so it went through the t-shirt. I didn't want to be completely bare-chested on television
Yes.
that day. It kind of went through the t-shirt, but it drew a little blood, I guess, when it went through
Yep,
the skin.
yep.
And so there was like some blood coming through my white t-shirt. And that's what everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's bleeding. I'm like, that's not the part that hurt.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was the electricity running through
or
my back.
it's your ego when you
Yeah.
go down. So
So
I
did
would
you
love to
do
see
that,
you
Rod?
getting tased.
Not after hearing these stories, no, I would not.
The bite suit's fun.
Do
that.
Yeah, what
You
else?
wouldn't get tased again,
You know
would
what
you?
I would like to
else?
do? So one of my old neighbors spent his career piloting the barges up and down the Columbia River. I think that would be a fascinating.
He's just trying to
thing.
pick like things that sounded
That seems
fun.
too sedate.
Oh, come on, but you're out there, the beauty of it, kind of, getting a
He'll be
feel for the
sitting with a
crew.
cocktail.
All right.
We're looking for extreme jobs.
How about being a smorgasbord taster?
Oh my.
What does that even
A
mean?
golden corral.
Well, earlier, I believe,
Go down the buffet.
Nina, you referred to somebody wanted to see Rod doing the honey bucket job.
Yes.
I said that.
That somebody is Stanford Walker.
Oh, hi,
Must be
Stanford.
Yeah.
Viewer
He
Stanford
wants to see
Walker.
you do it in August when it's nice and toasty.
I just love the name of the honey bucket. Whoever came up with that name, genius.
Right.
Honey bucket.
Let's think of the most unpleasant place on earth and let's call it something that's delicious.
Let's make Rod go there. All right, weigh in. Email Rod. Do you have a job that you want him to go do, in the next couple months? So let's make it something good.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a great Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye.